Hello YouTube and welcome to another battle report by Max Pounder Reports, and today I'm bringing you my Undying Dynasties list again versus an Empire of Sonnstahl list. So my list is exactly the same one as I have been running in the previous video. It's basically a triple cat list, so if you want to see what I'm running, go check that video out. I won't waste your time here. This is the first time I've played this opponent. He's with his Empire list. So I'll run through it very quickly just to give you a good idea about it. So from left to right, on left he's got 10 skirmishing pistoliers, he's got a stank, he's got a cannon, he's got 10 knights with a banner, he's got another cannon and a mortar. The bunker in the back is some bowmen with two level 2 of lights. He's got a whack-off block of 40 halberdiers with BSB. He's got a prelate on altar with a 2-up, 4-up. He's got 30 flagellants. He's got 3 demigriffs. He's got a captain on a Pegasus and 5 reiters. And now my opponent drops first, and he drops everything down because he really wants the first turn of shooting against those sphinxes. Because to be honest, apart from the stank and possibly the knights, everything else the kitty cats will eat up. So I deploy a obviously I castle up in the corner behind the hill to minimise one cannon at least. You know, he's going to move his stank wherever he wants anyway. So what I want to do is collapse one flank and then come round so he can't bring all his power to bear. Yeah, bad matchup for me because of obviously the cannons. And also the other really bad match about this is the 2 level 2s on light. So he's got double banishment, and double banishment is just ridiculous, especially on his prelate from the altar. The bound spell banishment, and I don't usually complain about anything to do with ninth phase, but I don't understand how this has got through, you know, sort of the rule teams, you know, whatever system they employ for rules. So it's a bound spell on a 4, which against undead does 3d6 strength 4, which is essentially a 3d6 fireball. Which when you think about it is a casting value of 11. I think it's 11. Plus it's getting +1 to wound for every light wizard. So basically he's got a bound spell on a 4, which does 3d6 automatic hits on my sphinxes and wounds them on 4+, because it's not +1 strength, it's +1 to wound, which against most things is worse, but against toughness 8 monsters is absolutely brutal. So I'm really going to struggle to stop both. Basically I'll have to stop those 2 spells, or make sure the cats are out of range of those spells every single turn, and hope that the other spells aren't as damaging. But when he's got so many buffs, so straight away I'm thinking this is not a great matchup. And yeah, that bound spell should just be on higher, or banishment should not be a bound spell. It's the casting value of banishment itself is 11. So anyway, rant over. So we'll start to get onto the game. So there's another picture of deployment. And so his turn 1, and he just sort of shuffles everything round. The big thing in the middle is march, so he can't actually march through it. And obviously flagellants are very good because they always put out the strength 5, you know, the 40 strength 5 attacks, no matter what. But obviously they're frenzied, and my plan is just to slow them down. So he pushes everything up. So in his magic phase, I think this is a Shems or a banishment or something, whatever, the extra d6 smashes some chariots. Yep, another one smashes some scouting cav over here, but got one left, so that's perfect for Char. He shoots one of his cannons at my catapult, and luckily he does 2 wounds, so it can still fire. His mortar hits and kills all these skeletons, and I really don't care. I think some plinky plonky shooting takes off one of these skeletons. And also, if you can see, my Sphinx took 4 wounds from a cannon, so great start. It is what it is. That's what they're there for, so you can't complain too much. So I'm just going to, first of all, I make a charge into the knights, and I charge those chariots in, and I bet you're thinking, why have you done that? So my idea here is that I can heal a chariot back, and also I've also got Ancient Glory as one of my spells. Give it +1 strength, and actually I think I win that with a 3d6 strength 5 hits, or I can give them Lethal Strike, because I've got that spell as well, so I'll get Lethal Strike on my attacks, heal a chariot back, 3d6 Lethal Strike hits, it's going to take out, and he's only got strength 3 So he's only a windmill on 5, so I'm pretty happy with that. I push up 1 cat really aggressively because I also want to desert wind him up. And then I push both cats up very aggressively on the left because I need to get them into that stank to keep safe, basically. Everything else just sort of shuffles around. The horse cav in the middle goes to chaff up when I need him, basically with flagellants. And that's it. So my magic phase managed to get 12 dice, and basically he's got to blow a squirrel. So I think he stops everything with dice and scroll, but he doesn't stop Ancient Glory on the chariots, and he doesn't stop the Desert Wind on the cat. So that allows me to shift that cat straight over there, and obviously heal a chariot back and make them initiative 3, strength 5. So I think I'm just going to blast through those knights and hit the other side. Obviously the only bad thing is if he's steadfast, but I'm pretty confident with that. Just a previous note, if you're wondering why I've put those skeleton cav in front of the steam tag, it's because I was hoping he'd charge it on his turn or move into it with his random movement and wouldn't be able to shoot, basically. But you'll see if he takes that bait. But it's a good magic phase. I've burnt his scroll up already, so I can't complain. Yeah, so he does 1 wound to me. I think I kill 3 or 4 from the impact hits, and then another 3 from the strength 5 from the riders. People always underestimate 3 chariots, just because the riders actually put out quite a few attacks. So anything toughness 3 is even with the 1 up armor. I think he rolled pretty bad, but still I'll take that. Don't manage to catch them though, but that's fine. I'm in a good position with his chariots now, threatening his black lines. And that brings us on to his turn 2. So he doesn't take the bait with his stank. He's just going to move his pistoliers up to try and do the last wound to that Sphinx. He's going to charge the other Sphinx with his halberdiers because he thinks he's got that. I think if I can stop his buffs, I'll breath weapon stomps, everything toughness 8, I'll have that. And then he can't march his flaggies through the thing, so he has to just... Oh no, I think he charges that lone skeleton actually. But fails to charge because it's pretty long. And then he just moves up everything else a bit more aggressively to... I don't really know what he's doing as writers, but I don't think he wanted DTs, so he's just moving them at the moment. One thing about this game is my opponent hasn't played 2,500 points, and he hasn't played a Night Mage game in a while. So it's quite a good game to play, really, because we talked through everything. So we said, okay, so what are your options here? What are you thinking? And I love games like that because it's a good learning experience for everyone. He does a very good move at the top and rallies his knights, and then obviously turns them so I can't charge his cannon and can't over into it, which I think is a very smart idea. Oh yeah, so he's going to move his riders and his everything up like so. And there's a picture of them reforming. And a close-up of my cat. So his magic phase is just so hard to stop anything because he's got all the well, he's got the hatred bubble anyway. He's got all the bounce spells. He's got the bounce spell of banishment. He's got another banishment, and he's got some light buffs as well. And so it's just impossible because he can 1 dice. He's getting +1 to his bounce spells, so he can just 1 dice pretty much all of them. And as long as you just roll a 1 or 2, I've then got to either risk losing my +3 to the spell, or 1 dice it back, and it's just too much of a risk, so it's really hard. So he gets, I think, maybe a 5 at ward on here, or something else. Kills more archers with a shooting, I don't care. Yeah, that Sphinx just gets shot off, unfortunately. Not a lot you can do about it. Yep, he shoots this poor little skeleton cavman. And he shoots my general with a cannon and brings him down to 1 wound as well. Cannons, it is what it is. I guess in retrospect, maybe could have just gone even more hyper-aggressive. A different unit that he would want to charge them to, so maybe the flagellants. But as you can see, he doesn't really need to. He can shoot them with cannons. Yeah, so combat goes really well for me. He only does 1 wound and I wipe out pretty much 9. I win, he's going to stick. Yeah, my turn. So I charge my general into this stank. I mean, he's strength 7, so I'm hoping I can do some damage there. and more importantly, he can't be shot. My chariots charge his peg master, peg captain, whatever you want to call him. He flees, they try to redirect, they fail it, so that's a bit of a bummer, because again, with the demigryphs only having a 2-up save, you know, might have that. Chariots charge the other knights, and that's pretty much it for movement. Yeah, so my magic phase, the problem with my magic phase is, well, the good thing, I guess, is I've always got a divine judgment that I want to just chuck out on one of his cannons to try and remove them. The problem is I didn't roll a divine judgment, and I didn't roll a double, so I couldn't choose a second divine judgment, because really I needed 2 divine judgments against this list, because he's always going to stop one, and then I can always get another one through, which means I can kill a cannon on a turn, basically. So in one ways it's good, because he always wants to stop it, and that's allowed me to heal my general back 2 wounds. At the same time, if I had 2, I would have had a bit more control over the magic phase. It is what it is. I think I give him lethal strike and maybe extra attack. Shooting here picks off some writers. They don't care. And that's going to bring him on to his turn 3. He doesn't. The stank doesn't wound me, and I wound him once. I didn't roll particularly well, I think. Oh, combat here quickly. I managed to wipe out the knights predictably. And kill some more things here. He only does 1 wound. He's not particularly good at rolling 6s. But that's what happens. Right, so his turn 3. So he's going to charge demigryphs into the chariot, so they're dead. And then he's going to move up his riders to start to threaten these war machines. His captain's going to not reform, turn around, basically. The words eluding me at this moment. The flaggies are going to slowly move through that marsh to try to see the Sphinx. Obviously, I can just keep on reforming to the edge, to the edge, to the edge. Everything else just going to stay around to buff. I think he moves some wizards to look at the chariots, and that's what he can really do. Yeah, his magic phase, I just can't stop the banishment, and the banishment just absolutely wipes out those chariots because it's wounded on 2s because of the other spellcasters. It is what it is. Yeah, predictably, that's my fault, so, you know, can only have myself to blame there. Oh, yeah, so, Steam Tank, he rolls 6 grind attacks. He wounds 3 times. 6 up save, fail them all. 4 up ward, I just need to pass 1 and I can heal him on my next turn. Fail all of them. General dead. Great. That's a worthy 420 points well spent for him on that big cat. And this is the problem with the general is the Pharaoh, I just feels not worth the points putting him on the cat, because in this list the cat or the general there is literally there to make sure that the other 2 cats are quick enough to move forward. That's all he's there for, and to be resilient. And so I tried to use him as this big fighty thing, and there's no point. So basically, after this game, I have 1 more with him, and then I drop him down to a no march on a cat. And then it allows me the extra points, which I get rid of the war machines as well, because they've been useless this game. Catapults have just been missing every single time. I can actually get some fighty combat blocks, and then that's going to work a bit better, that I just use the cats and just use the general to hold stuff up, and then actually need something to smash through it. So yeah, disappointed. I mean, yeah, he rolled above average and I rolled below average, but still, that he should be really like chopping him down gradually, but hey. Yeah, kitty cat though, oh, you gotta love the cat. Managed to break his steadfast. He just rolling well for thunderstomps really helps, and also the guards are quite killy, and the cat obviously is not too bad as well. So yeah, great. And he's going to flee. He gets away, but obviously I'm going to try and pursue, and I'm going to pursue right into the flank of his prelate. Like so. Yeah, so my turn. So there's not, you know, this is all just, there's not much left to do here. You know, just play it out. Not much to move. I just moved my wizard back away from the stank. Turn the archers round to shoot the writers. And I actually think they make the leadership for fast reform, so huzzah! I don't know what that's a picture of. Me healing back some skeletons. I think he killed some, so I heal back. In combat, magic, I don't. Again, he stops what he needs to stop. There's nothing really I can cast apart from Divine Judgment, and he's just going to stop it. So combat, I do 1 wound to his prelate. Shoot one of these off, and then he's going to panic. This catapult misfires and kills the last crew member. See, this is the thing about war machines, is they're either very good or they do absolutely nothing, and for 180 points I would just prefer to have a combat unit that actually do something. Oh yeah, so I forgot to mention in all these turns I do actually have 3 Sandstalkers and 3 Tomb Cataphracts that just aren't turning up. Oh, the Sandstalkers turned up and then they scattered, so that's fun. So, oh no, they did turn up. They turned up in the top corner. I lie. And then they can't do anything. They're there to Hunter's Bunker. But this is his turn 4 anyway, and I think after this turn we're pretty much going to call it, because he pops his wizards out from those bunkers, so the snakes can't get it. He's obviously just going to barrel that steam tank down my throat, because now I haven't got the general. I can't even march my wizard out. His captain's going to come to just threaten whatever the hell he wants. I don't know what I'm doing with my skeleton cav. I guess the thing is, there's a chaff, and there wasn't really much anything to chaff up at this moment in time. And because then now they can't march, they can only move 8. So, yeah, it's just bad. On the plus side, those flagellants, getting them into the marsh has worked a treat. He's going to send the demigryphs back because he wants to kill the snakes. He gets some buff up on these archers. I really don't care. But yes, so I let these all through, and the spell I really want to stop was Net of Amantok on my snakes. And because I remember he was rolled for it, and he was like, oh, I've got Net, that's not pretty good. But I was like, no, it's an incredible spell, because when you need it to stop people charging or do something that they really want to do, it's 33.3% chance of it happening, and it's a game changer sometimes. I mean, here it's just going to, well, you'll see. So my turn, I can't hurt the prelate. In combat, it's a pillow fight between the prelate and the cat, obviously. I fail my net, so I can't even charge anything. Can't charge his halberdiers to pick up all the points there and get into his war machines or anything like that. It happens. If you notice, his shooting's still picking off stuff. It really... Yep, see, does nothing. They've failed that. Well done, snakes. That's the end of my turn. And on his turn, he's going to... I've popped my wizard out on the left-hand side. You can't see it, but the steam tank's going to get him anyway. He charges everything into the snakes. Obviously, the flank charge from the demigryphs is enough by themselves. His flagellant still can't see me. And his captain's just about to fly over and kill everything. So that's what it looks like. On the plus side, his wizard blows himself up in the magic phase. I can't remember why, but it was very funny for us all. And that's after that we call it, because his demigryphs eat those snakes. So it's a crushing victory to him. We didn't play secondary objective because he'd never played 2,500 points or Ninth Age either. So it was just too many. You know, it's just easier just to try to learn the game at 2,500 points, to be honest. Really fun game. We're able just to, you know, talk everything out, talk about what the right situation, you know, what to do in the right situation, what he should do, what he shouldn't do, what he needs to think about, all this sort of stuff. In terms of what I brought to table, so this was a really hard counter to me, to be fair. But I'm just, I miss having the spell scroll, but I like not playing with it because it forces you to think how to play without one, and then when you do have one, it's very good. Casket's okay. The -1 to cast is really good. -1 to cast and +3 to spell works really well. But the problem with this list and the way I've built it around the free cats is to be really quick and to get into people's faces very quickly. And the problem with what I've brought in support of that is, by and large, it's really backfield stuff that likes to stay at the back of the board. And so it's pretty useless. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it up, drop the Pharaoh to a no march, drop the war machines. With the extra points there, should be able to get a unit of 4 Dread Winged Reapers, and also maybe drop some points elsewhere to try and get the snakes, the Tomb Cataphracts, up to a 4-man unit. Not Underground Ambush Run, because Underground Ambush is great for them, but when you've only got 1 unit to do it, it's so important for it to come up. So there's no point doing it. If you can buff them to a 4-man unit, that's pretty good. I'm also going to put my wizard on a horse and put him in a cav bunker, because also what I found with this game is once the general had gone out of the march range of the 18-inch of your little skeletons, they've only got 4-inch movement, which is terrible. And also, the Path of Sands, the spells, are really short-ranged. And so I really need them on a horse and in a horse bunker to actually keep up with the rest of the thing. So the idea is, this is why it's great to always place test stuff. And then certainly on the internet, when everyone puts a list up on the 9th age, I always say, well, it works in theory, but play test it, because it might not work. You know, not until you've played with it and you understand how you play with it. I think with 3 cats, some more Dead Reapers, a bigger block of snakes, and then just a fast cav mobile bunker, that I can actually be able to play aggressively with that sort of block, that sort of unit, and get the combo charges that I need to get to win the combat. Because the cats are great at holding things up, but in terms of the grind, once people start to roll the 6s, there's nothing you can do. But yeah, so I've got a tournament. So I'm going to change the list, give it a practice run, because I've got a tournament coming up at 14th of August, so I'll be recording all my games there to see how that goes, and certainly show you guys. In fact, once the draw's up, I'll post it on my blog as well to maybe write some thoughts about the list that people have brought and what I think it's going to be like. But anyway, I'm gabbing on. It's only a very quick battle report today, but I hope you enjoyed it, as always. If you have any comments, always appreciated. But elsewise, just enjoy yourself, and I'll see you for the next one. Okay, bye.